Hi everybody, welcome back. To remind you, we have 5 basic rules of the data analyst. And as a data analyst, it's very important to understand your task very well. Today, I will explain the role of analyze and manage data. Analyzing data is a very important step after data modeling. If you remember, in data modeling, we produce reports. These reports give us some information because when we get the data for the first time, it was raw data, messy data. When we work on them and produce reports, now we have information that is more understandable. And depending on that information, we start to understand and interpret this information to to get some insights about our system and to get some answers to the question, to the business question we are trying to solve. This step is very important after the data modeling because from here decisions will be made. But if the last steps were not produced effectively, this step can produce wrong information. And in data analysis, also in analyzing the data, we have to understand the capabilities of the applications that we use in the analysis. For example, if we use Excel, so we have to fully understand what are the tools of Excel that I can use for best analyzing my data. And this depends on the type of data that I am working on and what is the question that I'm trying to answer. If we best use the assets of the application, maybe Excel, Power BI, Python, we use them to find trends and patterns in our data, to find insights, and dependently, we can answer the business questions that we try to answer. For example, this is a report about data collected regarding the relationship between the horsepower of the cars and the fuel consumption. When we collect the data and analyze and initially analyze them and produce that report, one was this chart. If you look at this chart, here the trend line is not fit to all the data that we collected. Okay? And if we look deeper in this data, we will find that there is one of them is very far from our data. So it seems that this data may be wrong. Sometimes when data enter data, he may make mistakes. Or when we collect data, we may collect wrong data, especially for surveys. Okay, this is another example. Sometimes surveys, people answer questions without a real correct answer. By making the report, we can figure out where are the wrong answers, where are the answers that are not real and not relevant to our question. So here we can find an outlier. This only one outlier. So it seems that this outlier is not related to our data. So we can simply, from the information we get here, we can simply remove this outlier. And when we remove the outlier, we can find the trend of this data. And from that chart, we can see that there is a direct relationship between the horsepower and the fuel consumption. As the horsepower increases, the fuel consumption increases. The question is, should should I find a trend in my data? Maybe not, because maybe you are collecting data and there is no direct relationship between them. There is another factor that can affect your data. Okay, By analyzing data, we have to figure out that and to answer these questions. After analyzing data, we need to manage our data. Sometimes there is teamwork working on the data. More than one person, more than one data analyst, maybe a data analyst and other persons that need to have a look on the data or see the reports. So I have to manage the data, or in specific words, to manage security and availability. Availability means that people who are responsible and need certain data, this data should be available for them. Maybe the decision maker need to see the reports, so I have to make sure that the reports are available to these decision makers, but nothing else, like the models, for example. Another example, if I have a partner analyst, so I need to make sure that he can see the models and the data. Okay, this is the data availability. Security means to secure my data, to oversee that the correct data goes to the correct person. If one person is not allowed to see a specific data, I should make sure that this specific data will not be available for that user. So this is data security. So in general, managing data is using the tools that the application has to ensure availability and security of my data. So any applications that you use to analyze your data, it has assets like reports, dashboards, and models. Okay, so you need to best use these assets to ensure the availability and security of your data, and to oversee the data sharing and ensuring security of the data. Now, I expect that now you have a broad idea about the tasks of the data analyst. Some of them may be not very clear because you didn't work on them in a practical way, but it's very important to understand the main role of a data analyst. We will use Excel for data analysis, and I will add videos for Excel from the very beginning. So if you haven't any idea about Excel, you will understand. So you will move with me step by step. Some of the topics will need some theoretical explanation, and the other needs just practical knowledge. If you have any question, don't hesitate to write it down in the comments down below. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel. The channel produces many materials for many specializations. So, and the main aim of this channel is to improve the knowledge. Thank you guys. From the next video, I will add the Excel videos gradually to make sure that you develop your Excel and data analysis skills. Thank you guys. Bye bye.